talked about this today. With Rhode Island not showing up to a conference, right, to modify the Articles of Confederation, why would they bother to keep meeting? If you think about it, if Rhode Island doesn't show up, and you needed all 13 states to amend the Articles, and we know what happened at the Constitutional Convention. We know that they basically said, forget the Articles of Confederation, we're starting a new system. Well, one of the reasons they may have done that is because if they tried to modify the Articles and Rhode Island wasn't there, they could have never done it because it required unanimous consent. And in fact, Natalie, again, this is somewhat off the subject that no one cares, but that's all right. Rhode Island they basically almost couldn't raise an army. They could not regulate trade. These were all negative things. And we talked about, yes, go ahead, dear Samantha.
That's what you were saying, like, if they needed all 13 to, like, change the articles, wouldn't you think they'd need all 13 to throw them out?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. But they kind of just said, look, and Congress agreed to this, reluctantly, that we're going to ratify this in a different way. We're going to ratify this in a different way. You don't have to ratify. I'll talk about it tomorrow a little bit. But that's a good point. The only good thing, or I should say one of the good things that comes out of the Articles of Confederation is the Northwest Ordinance. And there's a question on the test about that, but we talked about that today. And that was good because remember we had forgotten to talk about that, how disappointed you kids were, how upset, angry, frustrated that we didn't talk about the Northwest Ordinance. We did talk about Shays' Rebellion, and how does Shays' Rebellion fit into this whole, constitutional problem at the time? I mean, Shays' Rebellion is kind of an internal insurrection between disgruntled farmers in the west of Massachusetts and the legislature of Massachusetts. How does that fit into the whole picture? Anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody? Go ahead, Russell.
They're afraid that more people will rebel, so it helps push towards the Philadelphia Convention?
And the thing was, it was a domestic insurrection of some, breadth. I mean, it was a significant insurrection. And there were lots of shays. There were lots of kind of simmering insurrections. The question was, would Congress be powerful enough to assert order and authority? Well, they weren't powerful enough to do anything. And so to some extent, this gives kind of, kind of support to people that say we need a more powerful national government if we're going to have order, stability, private property, contract laws, the things that are necessary for the economy to grow. Now, some people suggest that this desire for a stronger national government was economically motivated, that these people just wanted to prosper by it, and some people suggest that it was motivated by a desire to have stability so that the Republican experiment could endure. Lots of discussion about that. But we did talk about, sort of the road to the Constitutional Convention and who was there. And there is questions on there about who was there and who was not there. And that seems to be maybe potentially a bit of a problem based on our discussion today. So you should take a look at that in your book. And most of the other questions that are on the test, we will in fact discuss tomorrow in class. So hopefully a ways, that's enough on the tape for you. Is that, did we get it in?
Yeah.
Thank you. No, you're too kind. No, you're too kind. All right, that's it for today.
I had all this.
Mike,
Hey, Kitty.
Hi.
oh.